From Studio A at One Biloxi Square in downtown Lake Worth, Texas. Welcome in, everyone, to the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Bougie woogie music.
We have survived a long Labor Day weekend. Hopefully recharge the batteries. I know we did. We went out of town and saw family for the first time since early February, before all the pandemic stuff started. And it was just so wonderful to see them, and it just does the heart good.
Marco Polo and a Divine Miss Jewel.
Yes, ma'am. And they sent old Pappy over here. Of course, our brother-in-law, Mark, he rolls his own handmade cigars from Top-Notch Tobacco. And
pretty good stuff.
Old Pappy got himself one sent, and some of those Mexican limes that's growing on their tree down there. Thank you very much. But anyway, it was a great.
Very, very much, Marco.
Yes, thank you very much, Mark. It was a great weekend. We hope you guys had a great weekend too, because
as well.
Yeah, and if you went out to the lake, hopefully you were not burned too bad. Let's put it that way.
Refried.
And Pappy and I took a couple of programs off to recharge the batteries and feel pretty good today, actually.
I feel all right about myself, I guess, if I could just get some sleep.
Yeah, I understand
that.
I'm
not sleepy too good.
So we thought we would start this week off, even though the last of the week on Friday is something which is sad, 9/11, which we'll have a program on that, and the illustrious Special K over there is putting together a montage on that.
Yeah. Get out the hankies.
But we thought we'd have a little fun, and you guys, as usual, stepped up.
Always.
As today we're going to talk about, have you seen an act of kindness lately? That was a subject that was brought up by viewer Tom McMillan. Tom, thank you very much for that. Every once in a while it's good to look on the lighter side of things and also find out that there are still good people in this world.
Oh, yeah.
It is one of those things that sometimes you think, with all of the things going on in our great country right now, that there's no good people left. But yes, there are. There are a lot of good people.
Yeah, there's still plenty of them out there.
We'll start this off by saying, I don't know if you folks ever saw the movie called Pay It Forward. Yeah. A very young Haley Joel Osment was a elementary school kid, and he came up with that as a project. And the movie started off, which got me going. A guy in a little Volkswagen rams the rear end of a brand new Mercedes-Benz. Didn't do anything to the back end of the Mercedes-Benz, but it tore his little Volkswagen up, and he gets out grappling. A guy in a suit said, "You okay?" And he said, "Yeah, but look at my car. Look at my car." And he said, "You can have mine." He said, "What?" He said, "Yep, you can have mine. The title's in the glove box." And he just walks off. And the guy said, "What do I owe you?" He said, "Nothing. Just pay it forward." And that's how the movie started. And it was a great thing.
You know, and if more of us would practice that, it'd be a whole lot better world to live in, wouldn't it?
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know, like Big Jerry.
Yeah.
When you asked the question, he said, "JT bought me a shot of tequila."
Yeah, a couple of people said that, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
He bought himself one.
Let's get right to the comments that you guys answered, and there's some great stories.
Yeah.
Tammy Quick Kroll says, "I'm a single mom and unemployed due to a brain injury from a car accident. I took my teen girls to a youth group and came home. I had to pick them up 4 hours later, and my tire was flat. I brought it to the repair shop, and they fixed it for free. It only cost me a plate of fresh baked cookies."
Must be some good cookies.
No kidding.
Eric Turner took the lighter side by saying, "I didn't stab anyone today, and I'm wearing pants."
I love you guys.
Attaboy, Eric.
Frank Edgar said, "Brenda and I went to Bass Pro today. I saw a man pick up a woman's wallet off the floor and turn it over to the fellas behind the gun counter. Now, that's honesty.
That's pretty cool.
That's honesty.
And
right
Marcus White says it doesn't cost anything to be kind. I will get up from my table at a restaurant and go open the door for elderly people having trouble getting in. Mm-hmm. I have taught my sons to do the same thing and give them a big old smile as they do it. And they deserve
Good for
it.
you.
They
Good for you, Marcus.
Raising them boys right, Marcus.
That's
the way to go,
exactly
man.
what I was fixing to say,
Yes,
Pappy.
sir.
John Sawyer said a friend of mine said that Joe Biden doesn't have dementia, and I did not correct her. That's my good deed for the day.
That's about as sweet as it gets right there.
Ain't it so?
Mary Adams Childers said, yes, I did. About a week ago, I was driving down Highway 24 at about 5:30 p.m. in 102-degree heat. I saw a small car pull off the road with two young women and two small children standing beside the car in a ditch. There was a white pickup truck pulled over. As I got closer, I could see a man on his knees working on the rear tire in that heat. I'm feeling so sorry for them. In a short instant that I could see the man, I thought, damn, that is my 56-year-old son, Dwayne, changing that tire. He had worked all day as a plumber and still had time to help someone he didn't know who was in distress. He'll probably kick my ass if he sees or hears this post. Now it'd probably make his heart smile, Mom.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mary, you did good. You and Mr. Ralph raised some good kids.
That's right.
Sure did.
Got a good kid.
Yep, sir. Glenda Hardy also said yes. This afternoon, my husband went to Whataburger, and when he pulled up to the window, he was told that the lady in front of him paid for his meal. David was blown away by her thoughtfulness, so he paid for the car behind him. Most everyone are like that, or like this lady and my husband. This gives me hope that there are more good people than the not so good.
Absolutely. You know, and I've done that before.
Yeah.
And I have no clue who was in front of me that paid for my sack of Sonic burgers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I did the same thing.
Wow.
Nicole Caldron says, I am blessed enough to see acts of love and kindness almost daily. If it's not my family doing it, it's the people we surround ourselves with.
And you know, we could say the same thing.
Absolutely.
Our group do the same thing.
Yeah. And I can testify for Nicole.
Yeah.
I can. That's Steve and Connie Crenshaw's daughter.
Ah,
yeah, down
very
in
good.
Cleveland, Texas. Yeah.
All right, Nicole, good job.
Yeah.
Timothy Pettit said the other day, I found an iPhone on the road and got it back to its owner. I felt great about it, and the owner was tickled about it too, and the phone still worked. That's how we found the owner. He called his phone.
You know, that reminds me of a story. You know Thomas, the guy that I've done work for part-time.
Yeah.
He was at a place called the Texas Brewery, MacGyver's, here a few nights ago, doing karaoke and so forth. He and another friend that lives there in the trailer hood down the street from him. And somebody stole his phone while he was up on stage singing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, the bartender, Thomas said, I've never met the woman before in my life. Said she's a sweetheart. Called his number. Well, the dumbass that stole the phone answered it.
They're still there.
No, he was gone at home or wherever. But anyway, long story short, the bartender drove over to his house and got that phone.
No kidding.
And brought it back to Thomas. Yeah.
How about that? Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So Thomas got her phone number, and they're going out next week.
I knew there was got to be a connection there somewhere.
Two good deeds rolled up in one.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's see, where you at? Oh, Jessica.
Yeah. Jessica Dice says, I knew someone who had asked a grandma for directions. When they said, where to, he would say, to your heart. It was always big smiles and lots of fun. My grandma would probably pull off her high heel and smack you in the head with it. Run
I Karen can attest. I like to flirt with the older ladies and make them feel good, you know, and call them pretty ladies and stuff, a beautiful lady or something like that. Watch that smile come across her face.
I did that Friday night.
Do what?
I did that Friday night.
Yes, you did.
Told the little old man that he was handsome.
Yes, you did.
Doesn't hurt.
He had that big old smile on his face. Yeah. It don't cost anything to be nice, as somebody said a while ago.
Well, that's true.
Billy Felton said our bartender Eric went to Briar, Texas to help them clean up storm damage. The only person he knows that lives there is Lisa, who had minimal damage, so he helped people less fortunate that he didn't know.
You know, and Eric's that way.
Yes,
And,
he is.
His sweetheart of a wife, Michaela's the same way. She went out there with a church team, a community cleanup, and I think they was out there a couple of days or so, something like that.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
way to go, Eric. Marianne Seeley said, I saw an act of kindness today at Walmart. I was waiting in line when an elderly lady being checked out didn't seem to have enough money to pay for her groceries. The African-American man just behind her told the cashier to put her groceries on his bill. The elderly lady began to cry and hug that man for what seemed like 2 minutes.
That's great.
It goes to show you that there are people of all colors and races that do care for their fellow human beings, and trust me, God makes note of kindness such as this. What a wonderful sight to watch.
Now that is a great story.
He got a jewel in his crown for that, I guarantee
That is a great story. Marianne, thank you very much for sharing that. That made my heart warm right there.
Absolutely, yep.
Belinda Tatum says, I know guys all around here that help motorists every single day.
Yeah, Belinda's that way too.
Yeah.
She'll either help you or shoot you. One of the two.
I heard that.
Nelda Pound Slatter said our sweet neighbors of just over a year have helped us several times since Raymond's last heart attack. Bringing trash cans back from the road, picking things up at the grocery store, etc. Also, a teacher friend and one of my classroom parents decorated my classroom for me as a surprise when I was dealing with his health issues. That's pretty cool, man.
That's pretty cool. We got some comments in late, Pappy, if I can share some of these with you.
Okay.
Diana Concannon says, at Kroger several days ago, I was with my mother in the checkout line, and this lady in front of us was in the handicap electric chair with all of her groceries, struggling to get her groceries on the conveyor for the cashier. I went in front of her and started putting groceries up on the conveyor for the cashier. The lady really appreciated it and was not expecting it, but it was an act of kindness.
You know, and that's a lady right there. Diane lives up in Tennessee, just had a hip replacement.
Ah,
And I'm not talking a year ago. I'm talking a couple of weeks ago.
Bob Baker.
She's up there unloading groceries.
Bob Baker sent one in and says, I did a good deed the other day. Now, what was it?
It'll come back to you, Bobby.
And one more from Jim Younger. He says, okay, here's ours. We had a lady with her 2 kids come up to our cabin over Labor Day. Somehow she clipped a rock and cut the sidewall out on her tire.
Oh.
Well, she was heartbroken, did not have the money for a new tire, and her car did not come with a spare. What people don't check for new cars and don't have a spare? So we jacked it up, drove to Trinidad on a Sunday to a Walmart tire center and got her a new tire and sent her on her way.
How cool.
Pay it forward.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Charlie George told us my sweet young neighbor came out very late one night after hearing a huge crash. Seems someone threw a wine bottle directly into my driveway and it shattered into a million pieces. I went out to inspect it, and when he saw me, he came out to help. What a blessing he was.
Yeah. Melissa Parker Dawson says, I was leaving my volleyball game and a homeless lady walked up to my car. She was asking for money. I didn't have any cash, but noticed that she didn't have her shoes or have any shoes on, so I gave her my shoes.
Cool.
Well, now, there's a nice thing, isn't it?
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Ain't it so?
Steve Nelson says it's not something I saw someone else do, but I bought a police officer's dinner when I saw him behind me in a drive-through.
You know, that would be a great idea for all of us, you know?
Got him
You
out
see
of the ticket a bit.
Well, if you see a police officer,
Yeah.
especially with what they're going through today,
Oh, Lord,
everyone,
yes.
buy their lunch or something.
Yeah,
Make them feel like they are special again.
yeah.
Big Billy Bryan said, even though I'm unemployed since the COVID-19 pandemic, I've given people in worse shape than me cash to help them out and groceries.
You know, and he has.
Yeah.
Big Billy's he's about full of you know what, like a bucket, but he's a good guy. He's a good-hearted guy. Eric Hudson told us about the Briar tornado cleanup. He says, I've never witnessed firsthand a community come together like today. No names or handshakes exchanged, just random strangers coming together and working as one harmonious unit. It was terrible up there. Thank God that damage is in a small area. Prayers to all the families affected. Mm-hmm. Eric, you're a good man.
Yes, he is. And he's got a lovely wife, too.
No, he does.
Jennifer Hoopengarner Thomas says, I often pay for the meal of the car behind me at a drive-thru. I am gone before they even realize it.
Like a sneaky snake. And Big Al Baker.
Here we go.
Of East Texas fame. Says, hell, doing the right thing is bred into everybody, into every true-blooded Texan.
I love the way he's...
If one of our neighbors need help, it's not unusual to see 10 or 12 pickup trucks of neighbors coming to help. Why? Because they know if they needed it, we'd be there too. We helped a neighbor add a new bedroom addition onto his house so his elderly mom could come live with him. Word got out. People brought tools. The concrete for the slab was donated. Most of the lumber was donated. And in 3 days, we had that beautiful room finished. Nothing like sitting under a shade tree with neighbors having an ice-cold beer and reflecting on the job we just finished. That, my friends, is what neighbors do. It didn't cost anything, and it makes you feel good.
Damn Al. Big Al, that's the way it is. That's the way it is in East Texas, and I know it is the way in West Texas.
Absolutely.
You know, Texas people, they're just like that. They really are.
They are. Very, very cordial. You know, I mean, you get out in these little country areas and shoot, man, you can have some.
Boy, I know when I first got
neighbors.
my driver's license there in Emory, I was the delivery boy. If somebody needed something, my mother or father would send me,
Right.
you know, to get it and take it to them. Or in the worst case scenario, if someone passed away, you know, all these country people, they'd make food for everybody.
Lord, man, yeah.
My car smelled like a drive-in diner most of the time, but that's just the way it is, and that's just the way country people are. And you know, I sure wish we could get back to that, Pappy.
Well, those days aren't gone. You know, just like Big Al said, that's what neighbors do. Neighbors and friends do that. You know, I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Gina Power told us while eating breakfast at Tiffany's, the owner had overheard an elderly gentleman had served in the U.S. Air Force, so he thanked the gentleman for his service and told him that his entire party's meal was on the house.
Tiffany's?
I don't know if it's the world famous Tiffany's, but
Well, by God, it's got the name. Gina, I want to go eat breakfast with you.
Tiffany's is a jewelry store.
It is?
do what?
Tiffany's, if you're talking about Tiffany's in the blue boxes, it's a
I
jewelry
have
store.
no idea where she's talking about, but they're serving breakfast there, so
By God.
Maybe one of them has a...
Get a free breakfast and buy a $10,000 ring.
there you go.
Number one son, Jason Terry, said, yes, a great couple sold us an HVAC system for our new house for $200. It was random and very kind. You know, they just, he and Terry, his lovely better half, just bought him a house in Killeen.
All right. That's where our buddy Joel Hardy lives.
Even closer yet than Austin, so road trip.
Road trip.
Yeah, man.
Get old Black Betty and get on the road.
That's awesome, Jace. Good for them.
Very good. Terry White says he saw an act of kindness just the other day from a 6 or 7 year old kid. Mm-hmm. An older couple were sitting in Brahms eating lunch, and this child got up from the table with his parents and went over to them and asked if he could hug them.
No, they'd kill me.
It was one of the sweetest things I've ever witnessed. His father came over and apologized to them if the child had disturbed them, but they told him it was just what they needed to make their day. The girl behind the counter watched this and brought them some ice cream for dessert on the house. I have told many of our friends about it and wanted to share it with you guys.
That's pretty awesome, Terry.
God.
Yeah, there's nothing any pure or honest than a child's love, reaching out to somebody. Like
That is the absolute truth.
it just melts my peanut butter every time I see something like that.
Your peanut butter.
It does.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Well-
We'll appreciate all those comments and stories. That's just awesome.
It really is. I was looking to see if we got any more of the later comments that, you see, when we put this program together, we put it together a couple of days ahead of time so that we can get everything together. But we do want to make sure that you were recognized for it.
Yeah.
Let me see
It
here.
just goes to show that there are still plenty of kind people out there. I mean, it doesn't take any more. In fact, it takes a whole lot of effort, well, a whole lot less effort to be kind than it does be mean or rude to somebody.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of like the smile and the frown story. It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. So,
Yeah.
so share a smile with somebody.
That is very true. As that sign says, kindness is free. Let's pass it on right there
That's
behind
right.
us. But
Absolutely.
once again, you guys have shared some good stories.
Yep.
We appreciate that
Yeah.
so very much. You'll never know how much we appreciate your taking time out of your day to answer a question.
Well, we couldn't do it without them.
And most of all, Tom McMillan, great subject for today.
Yeah.
It was a little slow getting kicked off,
Yeah.
but once the viewers started sending in comments, I mean, we had a full show right there, and still got some in after we had transcribed it and made the script. But
No, I'm sure there'll be quite a bit more coming in on your comment section of the next show, probably.
the next show also on Friday, which is going to be a rather, well, it will be emotional for a lot of people, because when you look back on it, it just brings that emotion out of you,
Well,
of what you were doing.
It will me, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Well, you were kind of caught up right in the middle. Well, not in New York.
No, I was in New Zealand when 9/11 happened. They made me come home, and I was so freaking impacted and freaked out when I landed at LAX. I hopped the fence, went to work for Homeland Security.
Wow.
Yeah.
Coming up Friday, we're going to be talking, where were you on 9/11, and how did it affect you?
See
And that
anybody?
program
Our
was
buddy Brett Hardy.
Yeah, Brent Hardy. Oh, and happy birthday, Brent, today.
Yeah. Happy birthday, young man.
Yeah, hope you have a good one today.
Absolutely.
Karen, you were talking about something that you had a story to relate on today's subject, or did I hear that wrong? Did I hear that wrong? I just heard it wrong.
On
I guess.
today's subject?
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, I mean, when you're talking about act of kindness, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It, you know, if you just help an elderly person to their car, or
Yeah.
you know, anything small makes a person's day. You don't know how that will affect them.
Absolutely.
I have done that
true.
on many occasions.
Right.
That's true.
And I mean, I helped a lady to the bathroom. I mean, that couldn't walk very well, and she
Yeah.
was so thankful because she was by herself, and so
Yeah.
Right.
that was at Applebee's. As
Yeah.
a matter of fact,
Yeah.
and so any little thing, it doesn't have to be giving something.
Sure.
Just showing people that you care.
Yeah.
That's the bottom
the
line
big
right
thing
there.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference just knowing that you care, you know. I mean, I told a lady in Bluebies in Longview, I kept watching her. I was sitting there with my
You know, I
wife.
can remember before Mom passed away that she had gone to the grocery store. It was before she moved in with Juju.
Yeah.
And these high school kids were in there doing something for a class, maybe home ec or something. And these kids were so special that they took her around and helped her with all her groceries. I mean, she was 90-something, 94 maybe. And she was barely getting around, but she went to the grocery store by herself. And they went around and helped her, and we got a picture of them with her.
Oh yeah, I've
And
seen that.
you remember
picture.
that? Yeah.
I've seen that picture.
They didn't
yeah.
have to do that. Those kids, they were like 16 years old.
Yeah.
So I think it was a church group actually,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, well, good for them.
Oh, that's good. That's great stuff.
No, my ex at the time when I lived in Longview, and I was sitting in Luby's eating lunch, and this little bitty skinny white haired lady was sitting sitting over here, and I don't know why. She's by herself eating at one of the little small square tables. And I told my wife at the time, I said, I want to invite her to come and eat with us. She said, "Oh." So I got up.
As girls usually do.
I got up, walked. True story. I got up, walked her. I said, "Ma'am." She kind of looked up at me. Said, "What?" I said, "Would you like to join us?" I said, "We noticed you're sitting by yourself." She said, "Kiss my ass and leave me alone." So, sometimes kindness don't go too far. So needless
What's
to say,
the old saying? The older you get, the crankier you get, and who cares?
Needless to say, she paid for her own damn lunch that day. Kiss my ass and leave me alone.
But that's
I like to die. I just started laughing. I said, "Yes, ma'am."
It's a wonderful feeling to help a fellow human being out, everyone, and we really do encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of the viewer comments we
Okay.
got in. Mary Singleton commented on our mail-in ballot show by saying that she is totally against it. The post office can't even get the mail right,
Yeah.
much less delivering something as important as an official ballot to the right address. God help us if we do.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mary. Tom Franklin told us that he is a Thomas Gabriel fan now. By God, I am too. I watched your show, watched his video, then went and watched all I could find on YouTube. My goodness, he sounds so much like his grandpa, but his music is much different. I loved it anyway.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we're huge fans.
We're big fans of Thomas.
Big fan. Yeah, he. In fact, they'll be releasing an upcoming album here pretty soon. He's been working
that's what
on
he
it.
said. Yeah.
And he's fixing to hit the road here pretty soon too, I understand.
Yep.
So
Barry Thompson said Congress should have term limits, but they will never vote to allow the American people to vote on that amendment. Personally, I think they lose their effectiveness and insight after 8 to 10 years.
I think they lose their mind.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Mary Weston said, "Hi guys." Well, hi Marie. I just subscribed to your YouTube channel and I'm trying to catch up on your shows. I love the fact that your viewers are allowed to express their opinions on your various topics. That in itself is so refreshing. Keep it up, boys, and we truly intend
Marie,
to.
thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
That's the premise
kind of
basis of our show.
That's
you know,
exactly
you, the
correct.
listeners, make it happen. We just broadcast it. So
That's exactly correct.
Yep.
Hey, listen, if you want to suggest a subject for us to take a look at to possibly feature here on the show, or if you have a comment, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can send it to us by email at grandpaandpappy@gmail.com.
Yep.
Or
Or you can go directly to our website, which will take you right into YouTube, www.grandpa and the letter N, Pappy, grandpaandpappy.com.
and what happens when they get there?
That big red button will pop up.
Yeah, it's a very good thing right there.
Have a password in mind when it does, and subscribe. It's a show of numbers. And,
Just like Marie did.
That's right, which we appreciate. Good
Thank
to have
you
you
so
aboard,
much.
by the way, Marie.
Yeah.
And you can leave comments, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you want to say or do, and
And we'll look at it,
by God.
and we read them.
And we're
every one of
also
'em.
we're also on Instagram too, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We certainly are. On that page, if you look at the bottom, there's several ways that you can comment. And we get them all.
Yeah.
Anyway, we enjoyed today's show. We hope
We
you'll
did.
join us on Friday. It's going to be a great program. Where were you on 9/11, and how did it affect you?
It's changed life as I know it. I know
It
that.
really has.
Oh, and by the way, a little side note: T-shirts
Yeah.
will probably be in next week, hopefully. So they're saying.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Hopefully we'll find out. But keep in mind, if you want to pre-order before they come in, we can save you shipping and give you one of these little glow-in-the-dark bracelets to go with it.
There you go. That'll remind you. Ow.
Just reminded myself.
It's been a lot of fun. We appreciate you joining us, and
We do.
thanks for coming back on with us. And we will see you on Friday. In the meantime,
Absolutely.
we tell you to hug your children and let them know you love them.
Let them know we love them here at Grandpa and Pappy as well.
Absolutely. And be safe, and we will see you back on Friday.
Take care of one another.
Bye-bye.